Oh, well, hello and welcome, my friends, to O2 Inside Line Live. I'm not Vernon Kay, you know that. Vernon is in Mexico doing something with cars. He'll be back next week. In the meantime, I'm his body double like Martin Bayfield was for Hagrid in Harry Potter, in case you didn't know. Being joined by two gargantuan men. You look like Talos, the guard of Crete, and Atlas. Two massive, massive fellas. Get your questions in on Facebook. Penman, I've got some from you already, just in case you aren't fast enough with your typing. In the meantime, I'm going to get a couple of quick questions on a week off, no test match. Yeah. The disappointment of Edinburgh. Where did Eddie send you? Everyone split up, and why, and what did you do?
Well, as you know, it was the beast from the east who kind of ruined our, not ruined, but changed our preparation a little bit. So some of us were in Oxford, some of us were here at Pennyhill, some of us were at our clubs, etc., etc. But it was good. It was a good week. We got a lot out of it. We addressed the issues from the weekend.
Was it technical, or was it just recharge and fitness?
So there was, a lot of it was strength and conditioning, but there was a lot of rugby elements to it as well. So we addressed what we needed to address and got the team moving in the right direction.
And in terms of Twickenham training yesterday, were you at Twickenham training yesterday? How did that go, and what was that all about?
Well, you know, Eddie's got his starters, finishes. I'm a morale booster, so I'm always around.
I saw you water boy in
I'm always around, yeah.
On the TV.
I'm always around. There he is. He asked, were you training Twickenham? Yes, of course I was. They're keeping chat up levels up. No, I was actually. Managed to run into a post again, but that's another story for another day. It actually did happen. Yeah, it was good. Obviously, a great session. It was it's one of those things. We had actually quite a tough week in Oxford. It was, you know, it was physical, but there was an opportunity to spend time together. And we had a kind of day and a half at home, which is nice. But just as you get settled, just as the dent in the sofa kind of gets comfortable, you're out the door and then back into Twickenham, and we hit the ground running really hard yesterday. It was a very, very tough session. You know, I know he's a young buck, but I think it was pretty horrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a tough session.
Talking of weird and tough sessions, all week on the social media, England rugby stuff, you had sort of bands around, bounding. Is it plyometrics?
Yeah.
Is that word gone in the dark ages?
No, some of that kind of stuff. It was mainly just resistant training. So we're doing that to work on, as you said, bounds, working on speed.
I've seen on your apps, you're still working on footwork.
Right, so back in the day, when we were doing in the World Cup stuff, right, I used to go around Maro like it was a mini roundabout. Right, honestly, we went around him so much they want to sponsor him. A local business was sponsoring
Garden Flowers, a local garden flowers, isn't it?
But we had a race at Twickenham the other day, right, and the Maro beat me. Maro beat me, right. It was one of the biggest battles.
By how much?
Probably about like this.
What was the distance?
No, come on, don't lie to make friends. The viewers at home will know you're a liar.
Was it a 10-metre race?
It was a 20-metre race, and I beat it by at least 3-4 meters.
3-4 metres, mate, honestly. Don't lie to
I've
people.
still got one of the old Inside Line hosts, Austin Healy, in my pocket when it came to 20-metre short distances. Going to get on to some questions from our fans. Still coming in very quickly, but the first one, we'll get some rugby ones. No, cracker, there it is. That starts at 3 to 4 minutes. Sharon Green wants to know, my son would like to call his dog Maro. Is that okay? And have either of you had any strange things named after you before?
Well, obviously I can't control what you call your dog.
Sharon, so, that is, not me, Sharon.
But I don't really know.
I've had a dog named after me.
Yeah.
Well, I've had a couple, actually. No. I have one called Haskell, another one they called it Hassie, which isn't my nickname. It's never been my nickname. And I felt really bad because like we've named it after you. It's like you haven't. And
you haven't. That's like. Have you seen Game Night? Really good film. Anyway, long story short, go watch it. Very good. Shane Horgan's sister, legendary Irish rugby player, Irish comic, in it. Brilliant. Anyway, Caroline Simmons. Do you play jokes on each other in camp? If so, who is the best at it? It's from Caroline.
Maro just pulled a joke at Kenny, won by 4 metres. That's one of his best cracks.
We've got footage to back it up, so it's all good.
We will.
Anyone shaving foam in a shoe? No, nothing like that.
No, tell you who's the worst.
Yeah.
If I could get away with like tasering, I would. Is Nathan Hughes. Yeah. He jumps out at people the entire time.
Right.
He did that to me yesterday.
He jumps out all the time.
Films it or just.
And he thinks it's the funniest thing he's ever done in the history of the world. Like honestly, I have never found anything as funny as he finds jumping out on someone.
Okay, strong. It was Courtney instead, but the question applies to you. How do you pick your moments to make a big tackle?
I think there's very few opportunities in the game, but when they do come about, you've got to go for them. I think it's normally how you line yourself up on the opposition player. Yeah. You know, it's when you come from inside out, or when you come from a blind spot. Really, they don't happen often. But you've just always got to attack the man and make sure it happens.
And
Courtney's
that
pretty
was
specialist at it.
from James Garside. Just a quick one before we go and play golf, rugby golf that is, from Michael Vermont. If you could play a test match alongside any player, this is for both of you, past or present, who would it be and why?
I would go with. I would go with Jonah.
Jonah,
Jonah
yeah,
Lowe.
why?
Oh, well, he's one of the best to ever do it. He's absolute beast.
I tackled him.
How many attempts?
A couple.
Head in the spoke.
Still got his footprint. Yeah, going on. Got a great photo. I'm hanging onto a shoelace, and there's like Delalio, Hill coming in doing it. I'm claiming it.
Is that where when he went over the line, then Lawrence just came in and kneed him in the head? While he went?
And made him angry. Martin Johnson, what have you done now? You made him angry.
Yeah, I remember that.
Your player?
I would say I'd love to play with Brian O'Driscoll. I played against him many times and got
Anyway,
absolutely
golf.
scored. Oh, done.
Talk about centres.
See you,
You didn't
Brian.
mention
Yeah, never
me.
mind.
Anyway, come on,
Oh,
right.
sorry.
I'm right here. So we're going through here now. I can both medically all right to kick a rugby ball.
Not with these
Harry
special shoes
Williams
on, but
wasn't allowed to a couple of weeks ago. So very simple, very simple. There are 5 rugby balls. You have to go from behind the tape. It has to land on one of the discs. So if it lands on the grass, bounces on. Current leaderboard, Mike Brown. Nathan Hughes in second. Down at the bottom, 4 backs if you include me. Anthony Watson with 1,000 is down the bottom end. So just literally, ball, kick from behind here. Do you want to do all 5 in one go or one at a time?
Let's do alternate.
Alternate?
And is it where it ends or where?
No, it's got to land on it. If it lands here, if it lands here and rolls on, nil point.
fine. You go first.
Okay? From behind the tape. There we go.
Well, that was
Nice, strong. Bit long, 0. Shinned it. Oh!
Got floated.
You nearly missed it. Yes! 500 on the board at safety. Wait a minute. Stop. No. How many years have you played rugby?
I'm not hitting kick. Actually, I've got 1 chip and chase try. That's it, against Perpignan. Don't worry about it.
Oh my God, that's the safest place to stand.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. Still 500. Shank. Yes. No, still 0. You don't want to be bottom of the leaderboard.
Oh no, bottom of the O2 leaderboard. How will I ever sleep?
1,000. 1,000.
That's
I'll give
100.
it 100.
Yeah.
Get 100. Give you 100. Give you 100. Sorry. No, 1,000 for Maro. Go on. Yeah, 600 final score on that one. So Maro, 1,000. We'll
Coley
get that
beat me.
on the bottom list. A big
Coley
key is
beat
to
me.
understand. That goes.
How good was my kicking skills? I think I shinned one of them.
First 2. We'll get Dave Aldridge.
Well, listen, there's a chip
We'll
and
get
chase.
Johnny.
I did it.
So, a couple of quick questions on France. Because of Europe now, in the old days, you never really played these guys until you rocked up in Paris. Now, you play regularly in the European Cup. Who are the guys that you've played against that can pose a real threat to England?
Well, most French teams, their 9's a massive player for them.
Yeah.
He controls everything they do. He sets the tempo, sets their game up. So he's a massive player for them. And one player that we're going to try and
So
control.
currently Machino, try and shut him
Machino,
down.
he's a sharp player. He's he controls a lot of what they do.
Yeah.
So he's a big one for them.
They've
Definitely.
got a massive, to come to you in a second, the massive threat, always historically a massive front 5.
Yeah, they do. That's still the same. Guys like Varmahina.
Do you prepare differently for that physical challenge?
Well, to be honest, every internationals is physical. Whether it's France, whether it's Scotland, whether it's one of the Southern Hemisphere teams, is always physical. But when you play France, that's what they pride themselves on. So you have to get your mental state in the right frame of mind.
James, players?
Yeah, I think I was lucky enough to play with Box East for a few years at Stade Francais.
Yes.
Obviously, incredible boot on him. He's had a resurgence. Same thing I played with Bastereau. He's a guy that's obviously had a big bang, return match the other day. Obviously, a bit of a talisman for them. So you kind of know what you're going to get there. And I think with Camera as well in the back row, real rangy player, great athletic skills, key line-out player for them, great in the wide channels. But look, it's going to be a physical encounter. You never know what side's going to turn up. You just have to expect everything.
And a message to the fans back home who are watching in terms of England getting ready for France?
Thanks for your support. It means a lot to us, and I hope you tune in and watch.
And for any kids out there, don't ever kick like I did.
So, thank you very much, of course, to James. What a great body double for Courtney Laws. And Maro, thank you for joining us. Please do subscribe to the England Rugby podcast. And if you've liked me, I've been Will Greenwood. If you didn't, I was Vernon Kay. Clear. Perfect.